First off, keep doing exactly what you're doing. And what I mean by that is keep researching what the best things are in the game, whether that be a best build, a best jump shot, best animations, whatever it may be. Keep researching and watching good players and learning from those good players, whether that be on YouTube, whether it be on Twitch, TikTok, wherever it may be. Watch good guards and see what they're doing and implement that into your game. See what jump shots they're using, like I said, see what sigs they're using. So basically follow the meta of the game. Every year in almost every game there's gonna be a meta, and you want to make sure you're doing that. Some people don't like playing the meta ways, but if you want to be competitive and compete at a high level, you have to go the meta route. So go watch some Comp Prime series, go watch some Top Guards, go watch some stage games. Even if you don't play stage, if you play park or pro-am or theater, whatever it may be, if you're watching these good guards and doing what they're doing, when you go play players in the park, the rec, or the theater, wherever you go, you're gonna be playing at a much higher level. To follow up on watching good players, you want to make sure that you're playing against some good players here and there. And I'm not saying you got to go into the stage and play on the 10K court or go play some competitive 5v5 pro-am games. But if you see somebody on the court and on the streak, don't be scared to go play them just because they're good at the game. The only way you're gonna get better at anything, no matter what it is with reps and experience and working on your skills. So if you're going against a very good lockdown defender, which is not a lot of them in the game anyways, but if you go against them and you get practice against them, whenever you go play against the majority of people that are gonna be playing 2K25 who are not very good, you're gonna be able to get open very easily compared to how hard you have to work to get open against that good lot. So make sure you're playing competition so that you can work on your skills against better people who are better than you. It's only gonna make you better. All right, next we're gonna talk about our controller settings. And as a guard, this is very important. Lockdowns and centers, they don't really have to worry about their controller settings as much as guards do. So starting at the top, your vibration function and your trigger effect, you wanna make sure you have both of these off because you don't want any outside sources affecting your timing or your gameplay. So your controller vibrating and your triggers going crazy are going to distract you. Maybe not a lot, but you're gonna be thinking about it when it happens. So you wanna have the least amount of distractions as possible. And this right here is just unnecessary. So you wanna make sure you turn them off. It doesn't benefit you. So make sure you have your vibration and your trigger effect off. Onto your shot timing. They did change shooting a little bit in season 2. Some people were using normal risk reward, and with normal risk reward, you'll be able to make more whites. But what it does is shrinks down your pure green window, and then it makes the white window larger, if that makes sense. So while you'll be able to make more whites whenever you mistime your jump shot, having high risk reward is the best way to go. For one, you get a bigger boost whenever you do time your jump shot, which is kind of hard. I will say it is kind of hard to time your jump shot because if you didn't know, there's been tests done, and your pure green window, while it is pure, is moving constantly throughout the game. So one shot might be at 600 milliseconds, your green window, and then the other shot might be at 400 milliseconds. So you gotta take that into consideration. But as the setting is named as high risk reward, so it's very risky, but it's a high reward. So that's what I use, because even if you play in the competitive game modes like Proving Grounds, the stage, or anything, you're going to be playing on high risk reward anyway, so you might as well get used to it. Moving on to the layup timing, this right here is super glitchy. You don't really have to time your layups, and you make crazy layups all the time. Depending on your build, you might not care about your layups, but if you're an ISO build, if you play in the 1s, or if you play the 2s and you're doing some layups, you want to have your layup timing profile on real player percentage. For your shot timing visual cue, I have mine on release in the settings, but it doesn't matter because, like I'm going to show you later on in the video when I give you the best comp guard jump shot, you can change your release cue depending on your custom jump shot. So this right here really doesn't matter. I don't know why it's still in the game. I guess for people who don't make custom jump shots and just use NBA player jump shot, which that is not a comp guard thing to do, so don't do that. But I have it on release, it really don't matter though. For your pro stick function, you wanna make sure you have this on default. You don't wanna have it on dribble moves. I don't even know why some people do that. Default is the way to go. And then your pro stick orientation is gonna be on absolute. So what this does right here is no matter where you are on the court, whether you're in the corner dribbling, top of the key, the wing, wherever it may be, when you flick your right stick to do combos, it's gonna be the same animation no matter where you're at and no matter how the camera's facing. If you put it on camera relative, then if you're in the corner, for you to flick the ball to your left hand, you're gonna have to flick up on your right stick instead of flicking to your left hand like you will be able to do on absolute. So make sure as a guard, have this on absolute. Another very important setting is passive dribble hand switches. Again, I don't know why this was put into the game. What this does whenever it's on is when your player's standing there, he just crosses the ball over, just back and forth, back and forth. So whenever you're doing combos and you do a combo and you flick to your left hand, he's gonna cross back over to his right hand and it's gonna mess up your combos and mess up your timing and have you dribbling like a bot, and that's not what we're trying to do. So make sure you turn this off. Another setting I like to add on just in case, and it kind of builds you out sometimes, is to change your pass target percentages. For me, I have my openness on 89, my direction on 10, and then distance the lowest as possible. What this is gonna do is that if you're getting boxed or if you just freak out and you can't icon pass and you just press the pass button, it's gonna throw it to the person who's most open, which is gonna be a bailout. So you might not see somebody open and they be in the corner, and as soon as you hit the pass button, it's gonna dot on for a wide open shot, so make sure you have that on. All right, now we're gonna talk about sigs, and I'm gonna give you the best sigs for tall guards and small guards, so make sure you keep watching so you don't miss nothing. For your dribble style, if you were a smaller build, make sure you have on Darius Garland. For Darius Garland, you need a speed with ball of an 85, and to be under 6'5" is by far the best dribble style in the game. And if you're on a taller build, like 6'5", 6'6", make sure you put on Kobe White dribble style. You have to have a speed with ball of an 85 and to be under 6'10". So if you want to build this dribbling, and I know some people make some 6'10", some 7-foot ISO builds. I got a 7-foot ISO build. You might have a low speed with ball, but the majority of people with taller guard builds, you should have an 85 speed with ball. Moving on to your sig size up. Right now, I have on Trae Young for my smaller guards, but whenever I hit starter 4, I will be putting on Steve Francis. But for Trae Young, you need a 92 ball handle and to be under 6'5", and then for Steve Francis, you need a 95 ball handle. And personally, I think that Steve Francis might be the best in the game. Some people like Trae Young more, some people like Steve Francis more, but you also get De'Aaron Fox as well whenever you hit starter 4, so that's another good one you can try on if you want. It requires a lower ball handle, so for people who went lower ball handle and are under 6'5", you can throw in D Fox. And then it says restricted because I'm on my small build, but for my taller builds, you want to go with Ben Simmons. All you need is the 65 ball handle and to be at least 6'5". Onto your regular breakdown. For my small guards, I recommend Steph Curry, 92 ball handle and under 6'5". And then for my taller builds, you can go with normal or you can go with Devin Booker. For Devin Booker, you need an 80 ball handle and to be under 6'10". And both of these are very good moves you want to add into your bag. Moving on to aggressive breakdown combos. Small guards, go Jordan Poole, 80 ball handle, under 6'5". And then my taller builds, go with Kevin Durant. Ball handle has to be at least a 73 and you have to be at least 6'5". On to the escape moves. I've been using Steph Curry, and a lot of people are saying Steph Curry is by far the best in the game. Even when you hit starter 4 and unlock Trae Young and Kemba Walker, people are still going with Steph Curry. You need a 92 ball handle and to be under 6'5" to use this. I'm not sure what the requirements are for Trae Young and Kemba Walker, but whenever I hit starter 4, I'll drop a video going over those as well. But right now, as a small guard, Steph Curry is the way to go. Then for my taller guards, you want to go with Paul George. For Paul George, you need a 75 ball handle and it'd be at least 6'5" and under 6'10" to get this animation. On to the combo moves. I don't do this move a lot. For my small guards, I'm using Ja Morant, and then for you taller guards, you can go with Kobe White. My crossover, I do switch this up a good amount. I use Kyrie sometimes. I use Chris Paul sometimes. Kyrie, I would say, is more quick, and Chris Paul quicks a little bit more separation. But for my taller builds, definitely go with Devin Booker. If you play on the ones court, you already know about Devin Booker. It's super glitchy. He has a huge crossover, and then you can just run and standing dunk people. It's super glitchy. But if you're a tall build, go with Devin Booker. Smaller guards, Kyrie or Chris Paul. You can use Devin Booker if you have a small guard as well, but it's kind of slow, so that's why I don't use it. Moving on to the behind the back. Darius Garland was the behind the back a lot of people used in the beginning of the game when it first came out, but Darius Garland will get you bumped a lot and it will make you lose the ball. So you don't want to have no turnovers, because to be competitive in this game, you do not want to be turning the ball over. And this right here, if you're playing against a good lock, is going to be a bump still almost 9 out of 10 times. So make sure you have on Trae Young if you can get it for my small guards with a 92 ball handle and to be under 6'5". And then for my big guard, Kawhi Leonard is almost identical. If you look at the animations, they're pretty much identical. He's gonna do the behind the back here. It looks just like Trae Young. And all you need is a 70 ball handle and it'd be at least 6'5" and to be under 6'10". If you have a guard that is over 6'5" and between 6'10", put on Kawhi Leonard. It is by far, it's Trae Young. Make sure, you might as well put it on. Moving on to the spins, I don't do these a lot. I throw on Steve Nash on the majority of my builds. I think it looks the best, but I don't do spin moves. If you got a good spin move, put it down in the comment section for us. Moving on to the hesitation, there's not a lot of ways to go, but you can use Kobe White and Halliburton on both small and tall guards. As you can see, Halliburton, all you need is a 79 ball handle and it'd be under 6'10", and then Kobe White, you need an 85 ball handle to be under 6'10", and these are the top 2 hesitations in the game. So whether you're tall guard, small guard, you're gonna use the same thing. Now the step back is opposite of the hesitation. You have a good amount of options. You can go with Luka, Darius Garland, Tyrese Halliburton, Zach LaVine. I've been using Zach LaVine. I think it's the quickest and fastest snatchback. One thing I don't like about it is that when he does a snatchback, he crosses over, kind of like that passive dribbling. So that's the only bad thing I gotta say about it. Other than that, it's a good animation. Moving over to our go-to shot. Steph Curry and Ja Morant are very good ones to go with for my smaller builds. And then if you're a taller build, throw on Paolo Banchero. Onto the hop jumper, they passed Jordan Clarkson. I don't know why they passed it. It wasn't even super crazy, but they passed Jordan Clarkson. So the one you want to go with is Kyle Lowry for my smaller guards. For my big guards, I don't really do hop jumpers like that, but I have normal 2 on my 6'6". I just don't do the animation a lot. If you got some sauce, let me know. All right, moving on to the builder. So personally, I think if you want to be competitive in this game, you're going to have a guard build that is under 6'5", so 5'9", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". All those are very good height. But with that being said, I know that there's some tall guards out there, so I do have a tall guard build that I'm gonna show you in this video. Starting starting out, we're gonna go with our 5.9 PG, and on all these builds, I'm gonna show you the way I make the build personally as a template, but then you can go and adjust the build however you like, depending on what game modes you play, depending on what kind of teammates you got. All that is gonna determine how you wanna make your build and what attributes are gonna be important to you. But of course, we're gonna go with point guard, 5'9", 165 pounds with the 6'1" wingspan. All right, here's the build. So we're gonna start with our finishing. As you can see, our close shots at a 72, driving layup is at an 80, and then driving dunk is at a 73. And don't get it wrong, this 73 driving dunk is more than enough. I get crazy dunk animations on my 5'9" build. I feel like I get the best dunk animations on my 5'9" build, which is weird, but as a smaller guard, you can dunk efficiently. You're not gonna be getting contact dunks or dunking on anybody and getting any animations, but you will be able to finish around the rim. And then standing dunk, you don't have anything there, and then your post control is gonna be at a 30. Moving on to shooting. Okay, me personally, I made this build wanting to get 99 3-pointer whenever I got my cap breakers. So that's another thing to take into consideration whenever you're making your builds, is that you can adjust certain categories depending on where you put your cap breakers at. So I went with the 97 3-pointer, and then I went +2 right here, and I'm able to get a 99 3-pointer, get all the shooting badges, Hall of Fame. Super overkill. You don't really need 99 3-pointer in this game, but I wanted the badges for, you know, content purposes, and 99 3-pointer for the content reasons. So that's why I went with the 97. Mid-range is going to be an 87, very good mid-range, and the free throw is going to be a 72. It's not the highest free throw, but if you're playing fives, you can knock down some free throws with a 72. Moving on to the playmaking, another controversial category when it comes to making a guard build. Me personally, I want to have Steve Francis. That's why I went with the 95 ball handle in order to get that animation. You don't need a 95 ball handle to get the badges you need. All these badges right here, you don't have to have it at 95 in order to get them, but I go to high just for that animation. Moving on to the speed with ball, I went and put lightning launch on Hall of Fame with a 91, and then I use my max +1, which resets every season. It's crazy, and I put that on lightning launch to get lightning launch on Hall of Fame. Again, that's not very needed. You can get away with having it on gold, but me personally, I wanted to have the legend badge. That's why I went with a 91. But like I said, use this as a template and then adjust it depending on how you play. On to the defense, nothing too crazy here. We want the 44 interior defense. It does get stopped sometimes with the 44 interior defense if you get in the right position, but you're 5'9", so don't expect to get no crazy stops in the paint. And then your perimeter defense is at 85 and your steals at 85. Give you glove silver and interceptor gold. Both of those can be raised with max +1 if you want to. Challenger, on ball menace, and pick dodgers all on silver. So you're not a lockdown, but if you do get switched onto the ball, you can, you know, play some defense. And your block's gonna be a 32. Offensive rebound, we didn't touch. Defensive rebound, 42. Didn't really touch these categories. They just went up as I upgraded the build. I'm not really worried about these two categories when it comes to this 5'9" build, so we're gonna skip past that. Onto the physicals, speeds at a 90, agility's at a 80. This allows us to move very, very fast off ball if we're dexing, if we're running on the fast break. This is gonna give us a big advantage as a guard while we're moving off ball. Strength is at a 42 and your vertical is at a 60. All right, this 6'2" build is a very, very cheesy build, and I'm gonna show you why. So we're going with point guard, 6'2", 194 pounds, at 6'4" wingspan. And then here's the build. So starting with our finishing, 80 driving dunk, 80 driving layup, that's all you need. With a driving layup of an 80, you're able to get physical finisher, you're able to get layup, mix master, and that's all you really need. And then a driving dunk, we're able to unlock the Devin Booker dunk package, which is a very, very good dunk package. It has some quick drops in there, so you're gonna be dunking very consistently. And then your standing dunk, another very overpowered rating right here. Standing dunks are super cheesy. If you get in the right position, all you gotta do is hold down square and your player's gonna just rise up and dunk the ball. It's almost unstoppable if you know what you're doing. Post control is gonna be at a 35. And then here's where it gets real cheesy. So me personally, I went with the 94 mid-range. And I went with the 94 mid-range because I'm putting my 5+1s on my mid-range, which is gonna give me a 99 mid-range. And mid-ranges are already overpowered, so that's gonna be cheesy. And then all of my badges are gonna go Hall of Fame. So I'm gonna have all Hall of Fame badges, and the mid-range is a lot cheaper than the 3-pointer. So you're able to save and then allocate those attribute upgrades into other categories. And then I went with the 83 3-pointer, and if you want, you can put your max +1 on limitless range and get that on silver if that's what you want to do. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I shoot better on this build with an 83 3-ball with all those badges. It's almost like your 3-pointer don't have to be that high and badges are a little bit more important, but that's just my opinion. And then our free throws at a 69. Again, not super high, but I don't shoot a lot of free throws like that anyway. Onto your pass accuracy, I put that at a 71. It's decent enough. It's going to do the job. I play on the 2s on this build a good amount, or the 1s. As long as I get diamond on silver, that'll do it for me personally. And like the last build, I went with a 95 ball handle and a 91 speed with ball. If you see me on a build that's under 6'5", it's going to be rare that I don't have this 95 ball handle and a 91 speed with ball. It's going to be very real rare. I always want to have the option to use Steve Francis, and then I always want to have that lightning launch on Hall of Fame with the possibility of raising it up to legend. Onto the defense, I do play 1s and 2s on this build, so that's why I want to have my interior up a good amount. I'm at 6'2", so I'm not going to get a whole bunch of stops, but that 70 interior defense does help out more than you think. Then we have an 85 perimeter defense with the 85 steal, giving us glove on silver, interceptor on gold, and then we get all these badges on silver right here, and our block's gonna be at a 46. Nothing crazy, it just gives us something, you know. If we want to jump, you never know, the game might bail you out, and that 46 raises the chances of the game bailing you out. I have got blocks on this build. Whenever I'm bumping somebody and they go up and I just press the block button, I have got blocks. So you will get blocks on this build. It's not very consistent. It's not even consistent if you're on the center build, but it's enough. Onto the rebounding. Offensive rebound we didn't touch, and defensive rebound is gonna be at 50. Your speed is gonna be at 89. Agility is gonna be at 84. Strength right here, strength is overpowered. When it comes to defense, strength matters on defense, and it really matters on offense as well. So if you can afford it on your guard, throw it on. If you got some extra attributes sitting around and you don't know where to put them on strength, because it does matter this year. It does matter. And then your vertical is going to be at 60. That 60 vertical and that 80 driving dunk is what's going to give you Devin Booker, so make sure you have those two linked together. Moving on to this most recent 6'4" that I made. This build right here was inspired by LaMonster. I don't know if y'all seen LaMonster's build. His 6'4" go crazy. You can do almost everything. You're going to go with point guard. Height's going to be 6'4", weight 202 pounds with a 6'11" wingspan. And this is going to be the highest wingspan build that I think I have. I don't think I have a build under 6'5" with a wingspan this high. And here it is. Look at it. This is an all-around build. The Monsters is a little bit different. He has some categories certain ways that I adjusted for my liking, which is what you should do as well. Use these builds as templates and adjust them based on how you play. So starting with the finishing, we got a 74 close shot, 77 driving layup. It gives us finishing, which gives us physical finisher and layup mix master. Moving on to the driving dunk, we get an 89 driving dunk with posterizer on silver. And if you want to use your cap breakers, you could get posterizer on gold. I think that's what LaMonster did on his build. Me personally, I'm probably not gonna put that on driving dunk because I think an 89 is enough for me. And then standing dunk, again, this is a very, very glitchy attribute right here. Standing dunk on 64 is ridiculous on the point guard, especially if you're isoing or if you're on a 2, it's gonna be hard to stop. And then your post control is gonna be at a 42. Moving on to our shooting, not super high, but our mid range is at a 78. 3-pointer is at an 88. We don't have the badges like the build I showed you with an 83 3-pointer where we got Hall of Fame shooting badges with an 83 3-pointer, but we get an 88, which is more than enough on this game. Free throw, we put that to an 86 because I do want to play fouls with this build, so I'll put my free throw a little bit higher just for that reason. Onto the playmaking, we went with the 85 pass accuracy, giving us dimer on gold, which is going to help our teammates out. You know, everybody's struggling to shoot in the game. And then we also get bailout on bronze, and I think this is my second build that I have with bailout on bronze. I don't really aim for bailout, but it is a good badge to have. And then when it comes to cap breakers, I will be putting mine right here on ball handle to get +3, and then the other 2 I'll probably put them somewhere else, but I'm going to add 3 right here so I can get that Steve Francis, and then of course I get all the badges that I want, so make sure I get those animations. And then for your speed with ball, I went with the 86 right here. I'm not able to get that 91 on this build, so all I did was make sure I got lightning launch on gold. I can't go any higher, but 86 is going to be enough if you know what you're doing. Moving on to the defense, this is very crazy on the guard build. So we're 6'4" with an 80 interior defense. We get an 85 perimeter defense and an 85 steal. Both of these can be upgraded. I have 2 more cap breakers, and then at vet 2 you get 5 more cap breakers. So my perimeter defense could potentially go up, my steal could potentially go up, whichever one I want to go with. And then your blocks at a 69, which is crazy. 6'11" wingspan with the 69 block, and the interior defense, you're going to be getting crazy stops on this build. And LaMonster put me on right here. When it comes to rebounding, as you've seen in my other builds, I don't really look for rebound on my builds, but as a guard in certain situations, if you have a high rebound and you're rebounding against a guard trying to box you out, it's going to be super overpowered with the 75 offensive rebound going against maybe a 5'9" or a 6'2" with no rebound at all. It's real glitchy. And then your defensive rebound is going to be at 80. This also helps a lot on the ones court whenever you're matching up against other guards who don't have any rebounds. You're going to get bailed out a ton of times. Moving on to the physicals, this right here is where I was kind of iffy on if I want to use my cap breakers on defense or put it on speed and agility to get a higher speed and agility for defensive purposes and off-ball purposes, but I don't know. I'll think about it and I'll see what I want to do with that. And then strength, again, very important on guard builds. You're going to be bullying little guards because they have no strength, and it's rare for guards to have strength, and 2K went crazy with the strength this year. It's super OP, so that 85 is going to go crazy. And then your verticals at an 80. This allows us to get all the dunk packages we need. And as you can see, we even get high flyer denier and pogo stick. This build right here is crazy, all around build. And I didn't forget about my tall guards. I do have a 6'6" build that I have played a good amount of games on. We're gonna go with point guard, height 6'6", 180 pounds with the 6'7" wingspan. All right, here's the build. So key categories, we got our driving dunks at an 80 and our vertical is at a 60, giving us that Devin Booker dunk package. And again, 74 standing dunk, which is super overpowered if you're isoing on the tall build, which I do do on my 6'6" build. And then layups, not too crazy. Close shot, none of that's too crazy. Moving on to shooting, we went with the 79 mid-range and the 89 three-pointer, which is more than enough on a 6'6", with the 70 free throw. And then our pass tag is at an 82, giving us Dahmer. We didn't get bailout on this build, but we do have Dahmer on gold with the 85 ball handle and the 86 speed with ball. These two right here allows us to get all the sigs we need when it comes to having a bigger build. Moving on to defense, we went with the 79 interior defense, which comes in very clutch. Perimeter defense of a 92, steal of an 85, block of a 51. This is a three. It's called a 3-and-D point. It's a very two-way type build. I love playing on this build. Super good. And then our rebounding, we have a 26 on the offense rebound, 60 defensive rebound. Nothing crazy, but it's enough. Onto the physicals, we got an 89 speed and an 80 agility, which is going to help us on defense moving around. With a 70 strength, which is slept on. People still sleeping on strength. And then again, that 60 vertical paired with that 80 drive and dunk in order for us to get that Devin Booker dunk package. Onto jump shots, a very crucial thing when it comes to being competitive in this game. If you can knock down your shots consistently, if you can't do nothing else, if you can't dribble, if you have no IQ, but if you can green some shots, if you can hit consistently in this game, then you're going to be good. But starting with this first jump shot, we're going to be going with Cameron Thomas base. I've adjusted the releases a little bit just for this build specifically. This is my 83 three-point build, but I do get a mid-range of an 88. That's why I'm able to get the jump shot, as you can see down at the bottom right. But we're going to go Cam Thomas base, release 1, Oscar Robertson, release 2, doesn't matter. I had on Rob Dillingham, but it's set at 0, so it's not included in this jump shot. I just haven't taken it off. Basically, go Oscar for your releases, and then base Cameron Thomas with the visual cue of release, and then release speed is going to be 4 out of 4. The jump shot is very smooth, super consistent on this build, even with the 83 three-pointer, and has a good visual cue. This next jump shot base, which I think is the most consistent, but with it being consistent, it is the slowest jump shot to me. Your lower base is going to be Kyrie Irving, and then you can still go Oscar, but on my other build, whenever I use this base, I use 83% Oscar, 17% Darius Garland. But if you want, you can just go Kyrie, Oscar. Oscar is very good for upper releases. He has a good visual cue. That's why everybody you see with their jump shots, they're going to have Oscar Robertson in some way, shape, or form in their jump shot. They might have percentages a little bit different, but they will have Oscar Robertson in their jump shot just to level it out. But if all fails, you can just go straight Oscar. These next two jump shot bases I don't have yet. I'm about to hit starter 4, and I will have Kevin Porter Jr. base and Patty Mills base. I heard good things. I heard bad things from both of them. Whenever I get them, I will, lab up with them, play some games with them, and then drop a video letting you know which one I think is better. So make sure if you haven't already, if you hit that sub button, stay tuned so you don't miss when I drop that. Now for my taller guards, moving on to my 6'6" build, I use 2 different bases. I use Jared Culver base, and with that, you want to have your release 1, Oscar Robertson, and your release 2, Oscar Robertson as well. For your visual cue, you want to go with release, and then release speed, you can change it back and forth from 3/4 and 4/4. I've been trying to lab them up since after the patch to see which one's better. On my smaller guards, I've been using 4 out of 4, but then my taller guards, I've been using 3 out of 4, but I might bump that back up and see how it feels. But Jared Culver is a very good base. This next jump shot is pretty much the same. The only thing we're changing is our base, so we're going to go with Kyle Korver here. Kyle Korver is a little bit faster than Jared Culver, so if you want to go with a faster jump shot, he doesn't jump off the ground as high. So if you like that animation better with Jared Culver, go with that. But if you want a quicker jump shot, I would say go with Kyle Korver. You can't go wrong with either one. It's really personal preference, whichever one feels best for you and you're the most consistent with, use that one. Another very important thing when it comes to shooting is your hot zones. As you can see at the top of the key, I got all lethal zones, and then I got hot zones in the corners, but you want to make sure you're getting hot zones where you shoot most frequently at, and majority of us are going to have them at the top of the key like I do right here. But if you didn't know, there's a method to get your hot zones this year, your lethals, without even doing anything. It's super glitchy, is basically a glitch. So what you want to do is, first you want to go to mycareer, and you want to get all your hot zones, like get them red, go to mycareer, shoot like 20 shots in whatever spot you're trying to get, and once you get your hot zones, once they turn red wherever you want them, then you come here and you do your lethal shooter. So once you get in here to the lethal shooter, you want to go talk to him, start up the game, pick your lethal spot. Right when you get into the, like when you're about to shoot, you're going to quit out of the match, well, quit out of the competition, and then you're going to close app. And when you load back up, you're going to have your lethal zones wherever you chose to have them at. And this also works for just regular hot zones. So if you have nothing at all and you want to get hot zones, I wouldn't waste it on that. I will play mycareer and get them red, and then come in here and do that and get them purple. But you can also do it for your red zones as well. You just come, talk to him. I can't talk to him right now because my 3 weeks ain't up yet, but you'll talk to him. The game will start after you choose your hot zones, and when the game starts, you're going to quit out and close the app before y'all finish talking. Make sure you do it before y'all finish talking, and then load back up, and you'll have all your lethal zones or hot zones. And while we're over here, let's talk about Gatorade and just regular jump shot boost. So first, we're going to start with our jump shot boost. You want to make sure that you're stacking up on jump shot boost. It can get kind of expensive, but if you win the games, you're going to make it back easy. All you want to do is make sure you get the jump jump shot one. The other ones will help you out, but you don't need them. I get some off of spinning the wheel. I got my layups and dunks from that. And then if you didn't know, the way that you get 2 bars is by doing your Gatorade workouts and then buying this middle Gatorade thirst quencher right here. That's gonna give you a double stamina bar. You can buy all 3 and they will help, but if you're just looking for that double stamina bar you see everybody with, you just wanna buy that middle one. And I've unlocked Workout Warrior, so I don't have to do any more workouts for the rest of the year. I get my workout stamina bar off rip. And the way you do that, I think, is by doing 12 or 16 workouts. However many workouts there are here, you have to do every workout here, and it takes about 3 weeks, and then you'll be able to get Workout Warrior and you'll never have to work out again. It'll also give you 99 stamina, and then you'll get every build type in the game. But if you're not trying to get Workout Warrior, the best ones I recommend you do are the squats right here, the treadmill, and then I would do the agility ladders and the agility hurdles. I think those are the easiest ones. All these workouts are pretty easy, but if you want to make sure you're doing 3 stars, do the ones I just recommended. But for Workout Warrior, again, you have to do all the workouts. So I think it takes 3 weeks because you have to do 4 workouts every week, and then, you know, 3 times, that's 12. Get it out the way. You should already have it knocked out of the way. Everybody should have that Workout Warrior badge. The game been out, but I know some people are focused on doing certain workouts, and that's why they haven't gotten it. So make sure you're switching it up and doing other workouts. To become a comp guard in this game, it really don't take a lot, but there's one last thing you want to make sure that you do to become a top comp guard in this game, and that's watch this dribble tell on the screen right here. This right here will help you complete that goal of becoming a comp guard in this game.